Hi friends, welcome back to Three Barrow Farm. As you can see, I've got my buckets here. I'm going to be doing some harvesting while I have a look through these brassicas and do some weeding as well. But I wanted to chat to you today about why you should garden, why you should start a garden, whether it is an edible garden or whether it's an ornamental garden. I'm going to tell you why you should start a garden today. The first reason I'm going to give you today as to why you should start a garden is because it's going to make you feel really good. There are natural antidotes in the soil that help reduce our stress. So being out here, being around the soil and breathing in the soil is going to make you feel so much better. So the particular bacteria in the soil actually works like an antidepressant. And as you're moving your hands through the soil, digging up, planting things, it's going to make you feel really, really happy. So if you're feeling a bit down, I highly recommend just getting out into the garden or getting out into your local park, just lying on the grass. It's going to make you feel so much better than how you're feeling right now. Gardening has actually been proven to work even better than yoga and meditation. How about even getting out into your garden and doing some yoga and meditation outside? So as well as the bacterial species in the soil that helps you feel good mentally and helps with our mental state, there is also a factor of it helping our immune system. So I think in today's society, for that one reason alone, we should all be trying to get out into the garden as much as we can to help our mental state, but also to help the health of our bodies. And talking about our bodies as well, gardening is going to give you a lot of exercise in many different ways, be it squatting and using those muscles that you don't generally use, or digging, or getting the mattock out and getting a really good workout that way. You definitely notice a lot of new muscles that you didn't recognize before when you start gardening. Another reason is for the birds, the bugs, and the bees. Planting more trees and plants and shrubs are going to create homes and food for all of these animals, and it improves our whole ecosystem. So we're not only doing it for ourselves, but we're doing it for the animals and the insects as well. But we're not only just planting things, we're planting a diverse range of vegetables and plants and native trees and shrubs. Not only by planting such diverse plants are we assisting the animals and the insects and the bees, but we're also looking out our windows and seeing beautiful colours and textures, and it creates such a lovely garden to look at. I'm going to have a little snack. One good reason to have an edible garden, or not even an edible because this is technically a weed. This is a dandelion leaf and I'm snacking on them today. So that takes me to my next reason why you should start a garden. And this is in particular an edible garden, because you can then go out into your yard and harvest fresh organic produce straight off your property. Eating food straight from the plant not only tastes better, but it has more nutrients in it than the vegetables and fruit that we find in our supermarkets and greengrocers. As soon as I pick this kale, it does start to lose its nutrients. So for me to use this straight away within an hour means that I get the most nutrients out of these vegetables and straight into my body. There have been many studies that show us that the nutrient levels really deplete over time. And by the time you actually get your hands on the leafy greens or the vegetables or fruit, the levels of nutrients have diminished quite a bit. So take, for example, lettuce. We pick lettuce and then we can basically eat it straight away at home. But if we leave it for 6 days, and if it's sitting in the supermarket for 6 days, I'm not sure how long they leave things like lettuce in supermarkets, but its nutrients will diminish by 46% within 6 days of being picked. It's also been discovered that when we let things ripen on the vine or on the plant, that the nutrient levels will come to their fruition. Whereas if it's picked earlier and allowed to ripen off the plant, the nutrient levels aren't as high as they are supposed to have gotten to. And quite a few foods are picked unripe to come into the supermarkets, particularly when they're out of season. So if you stick with things in season and you go to farmers markets and things like that, you're definitely going to get produce that is fresher and in season as well. One thing in particular that decreases after it's been picked is the vitamin C levels in our vegetables and fruits. For example, after 16 days of green beans being picked, they are going to lose 90% of their vitamin C levels. Of course, if you can't grow everything and you're unsure as to how old the produce is at your supermarket and you have no way of getting to a farmer's market, buying frozen food is probably a good option as well. However, the nutrients does decrease in the freezing process, as they do with other preservation methods as well. But the vegetables are generally picked and then frozen straight away, so there's no shelf life. So you've got to think that maybe there'd be more nutrients in them than if the vegetable was sitting on the shelf for a long time. So as I mentioned before, walking out into your garden and harvesting your own food is such a wonderful way to eat. And if you've forgotten a certain vegetable or you need to supplement with something else, with a particular herb, at least you can come out and find another herb that you could use fresh from your garden, or other greens or vegetables to supplement those recipes that you're trying to cook from. What I like to do is go into my garden and discover what is ready to eat that week and try and make my meal plans around what we have growing in our garden. So I do a general plan of what I have growing in my garden, and then I might supplement certain things from the shops or from other growers. But through the years, as I've been growing food, I've also tailored what I'm growing to what we want to eat. And when you plant a variety of food in your garden, you no longer have to go to the shops every single week to get your produce. Snacking is by far the best fun had in an edible garden. You can also save a lot of money by growing your own food or gardening in itself by not needing to go to the gym as much or at all, and also by not having to spend money on your vegetables and fruit as well if you grow your own food. Of course, there are times where crops fail or insects get into your garden, or possums or dogs or mice. But as gardeners, we all seem to just keep going on because we're excited by that next harvest or the next possibility of a harvest. And I think this is a healthy way to think in life, is to keep going and not give up. And we generally come through with ways to combat these issues that have occurred in our garden and to do better next time, or to protect our garden better in the future. And perhaps that optimism that gardeners have does come from that antidepressant microbes in the garden coming out from the soil and making us feel so much better and knowing that we can do it again. I hope you've enjoyed that little insight on why you should grow a garden. Let me know below if there are any other reasons why you think people should start gardening. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon for another video.